Alright, Shalom, Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah Yahawashi, Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah Yahawashi, Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah Yahawashi, Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah Yahawashi, Barakatah Yahawah, Bahasham Yahawashi, Bahasham Rachakwadash, Barakatham. First and foremost, I'd like to begin by giving all praises and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham Yahawashi, Bahasham Rachakwadash. Praises and glory to the Heavenly Father's true name, in the name of his only begotten Son, with whom the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ, and also in the name of his Holy Spirit. That's what I said in the ancient Hebrew tongue. Now I'd like to give double honors double to the elders, the apostles of Greatmillstone, our teachers that surely do rule well. Peace, love, salutation to the men, the brethren on the four corners of this world that continues to spread this word, this gospel in all sincerity and in truth. Alright, this is your brother Kalab coming back to you with another bit of edification to the house of Israel, mainly the elect. This is the year 2022, the year of YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI turning up. Alright, and top stories, breaking news, says monkeypox, 80 cases confirmed in 11 countries, says the WHO, the World Health Organization. So as you see tonight's title, the Lord, which is Yahawah, Bahasham, which is in the name of his son Yahawashi, is sending the plagues. I'd like to begin with this precept here. There's the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16 and verses 8. It says, the mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? Alright, so the top story tonight, the monkeypox. Alright, a family to the smallpox. Alright, which these devils use against our people the Garites years ago. Alright, by putting them in the blankets, as a means of destroying them, causing them disease and fatality, because this is what this devil brings. Alright, so the smallpox that we're hearing about right now could be something that was issued by Esau. Alright, these plagues, a lot of them are man-made, but guess what? The Lord controls men. As the scripture says in the book of Psalm chapter 17 and verses 13. It says, arise, O Yahawah, Bahasham Yahawashi, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked. Malachi 1:4. Esau Edom, which is thy sword? From men, which are thy hand, O Lord. Alright, so the Lord uses men. As he said, Esau is his sword, the wicked, which is his sword. When you read in Revelation, the 6th chapter, let's read that real quick. Revelation chapter 6 and verses 4. It says, and there went out another horse that was red. Alright, red signifying who? Esau Edom. Going back to Genesis, the beginning, the creation story. Alright, the first came out red all over, and that was Esau. So the red signifies him, his race. You are identified. Alright, as the scripture says, he made Esau bear. He's the red horse. And power was given to him. So the Most High gave them power. Alright, let's see what the power was to do. That sat thereon to take peace from the earth. This man has been given the power. He has been set up. As the scripture says in Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Alright, he has been set up in rulership to take peace from the earth. So under the so-called white man's rule, expect nothing but plagues. Expect nothing but distress. Expect nothing but mourning. As the scripture says in Proverbs 29 and verses 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people will mourn. Alright, so yes, in fact, a lot of these plagues are man-made. Esau made them, and he issued them out there to make you mourn, to cause you distress, to take away peace from the earth. Alright, and he's the one responsible also for destroying the earth. As the scripture speaks about, he's going to destroy them that destroy the earth, all the different chemtrails he put in the air, alright, the different drillings of the earth, working the lands of the earth throughout, no land Sabbaths, alright, he's destroying the earth. You understand? Different trees, cutting them up, cutting them down, deforestation, you call it, using animals for taxidermy, just hunt down a wild beast just to have its body or its head, stuck up on his wall at home. This is what these devils do. Putting fluoride in the water, pumping all the oil and oil spills in the seas and killing fishes, killing whales. Alright, they slew the buffaloes. Alright, to try to starve out Jakes in time past. Let's check the so-called white man's track record. Alright, he's the true virus on the earth. Alright, he's the true plague on the earth. He's the destroyer. Alright, the scripture calls him the son of perdition, the man of sin. And that's why he's going to be destroyed, as the scripture says in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. Let me just get out real quick. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verses 7. It says, for the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. And the Apostle Paul here was referring to the Romans, which the Romans were Edomites. Alright? Idumeans. That's why Herod was known as Herod the Idumean. Antipater also was known as Antipater the Idumean. Okay? So it says which Idumea goes back as a Greek way of saying Edom, which means red. Adawam in the Hebrew tongue, the red horse. Alright, the so-called white race. The wicked. It says for the mystery of iniquity, another title for them. They were mystery, they hide themselves. Alright, they were hidden under the title of being Romans, or in time past Greeks. And now today, white people, Caucasians, Europeans, Caucasians so-called. Alright, but they are the Edomites. Do it already work. They were in work, they were in rule at the time of Apostle Paul, as we the Romans. Only he who now letteth will let. The one who letteth, the one who allows, who sets up to rule, as the scripture says in Daniel 4:17, the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. He sets up one, he puts up kings basically and pulls down kings. He's the one that lets. Alright? He will let until he be taken out of the way. So the scripture says, seeing his days are determined. I believe that Job 14 and verses 5. The number of his months are with thee. Thou hast set it his bounds that it cannot pass. So these devils, they have a time to rule and their time is running out. Alright, and that's why the plagues now are increasing on the earth. Alright, the plagues are increasing because this devil is about to come out of rulership. As was prophesied to happen in the last days, the Lord will send plagues upon the earth. Alright, let me see if I can get a precept here. So don't be surprised by what's happening. Alright, and it's not Satan doing it, it's not Lord Krishna doing it, it's the mighty Lord doing it. He sends the plagues. Alright, so jumping down in the same 2 Ezra 16 and verses 37 to 38. It says, behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. Alright, because apart from the monkeypox, alright, that is a recent outbreak, a recent plague here for this year. There's also the bird flu. Alright, the bird flu also is at work. So the Lord, as the scripture just said, behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. The mighty Lord has sent his plagues. Verse 38. As when a woman with child in the 9th month. The 9th month is about our time to be delivered, to deliver the child. And there's the time that we're in right now, as the scripture says in Romans. Alright, and that knowing the time that it is high time to wake out of sleep. For now your salvation is nearer than when you first believed. The nation of Israel is about to be delivered. Alright, this is the end of these devils' rule. This is the end of them having us in captivity. And this is what we hasten. The year 2021 was the year of the hastening. Alright, and we're still hastening. Alright, and the Lord right now in 2022, he's turning things up. As he told Jeremiah in Jeremiah, the 1st chapter, he said, I will hasten my words to perform it. which includes him bringing plagues, which includes him stirring up nations for war, which includes him, putting that mind or that spirit on these devils to bring their charagma, bring the mark of the beast, all right, to try the earth, all right, so things are going to get turned up, all right, things are going to increase, and these plagues are increasing, which proves these words to be true. All right, Isaiah 34, verse 16. Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. None of these shall fail, none shall want her mate. Is the 9th month. See if I can get us precept here. Bring forth. Is the book of Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 66 and verses 9. It says, shall I bring to birth and not cause to bring forth? Saith the Lord YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. Shall I cause to bring forth and shut the womb? Saith the Lord. He's asking. I will make look the Lord, what the Lord has done. He has woken us up with his truth. Ezekiel 37. All right, the great awakening. The valley of dry bones. They are living today through the prophecies, through the spirit of YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. Is it going to just stop there with the nation of Israel, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians waking up? No. We are going to be delivered. All right, and guess what? We're hastening for that deliverance to come. As the scripture says in Revelation 22, verse 20, so come now, Lord Yahushai. That should be your song. That should be your prayer. All right, for the Lord to return. Is Isaiah 51. Isaiah 51 and verses 14. So you have to welcome the plagues. All right, when the men of the Lord, the hopeful elect, see these plagues come upon the earth, we don't feel saddened or threatened in the sense of scared. We fear Yahweh. All right, we cover our homes with the precious blood of Yahawashi Mashiach. All right, that the plagues doesn't touch us. All right, but we are glad that the Lord is bringing plagues. This place is well deserving of plagues. All right, this place is well deserving and is well deserving of the ultimate plague. All right, Zechariah 14, verse 12. For all the abominations, the homosexuality, the pedophilia, the feminism, all right, us being in captivity, this place needs to get mute. All right, send the plagues, Lord, to water. Isaiah 51, verse 14. It says, the captive exile, that's us. We're exiled from our land, and right now we are captive. As the scripture says in Baruch 3, we are yet this day in our captivity. And we want to be free. We ain't like these niggas in the world that sit on their leaves. You know, that trying to make, as our camp leader always mentioned, they're trying to take the lemons and make lemonade. All right, we see the bed for what it is. The scripture says the bed is shorter than one could stretch himself. Micah 2 and 10, this is not your rest. We see that. That's why the scripture says, well, now they desire a better country. For here we have no continuing city, but we seek one to come. All right, so to hell with this place. As we always chant, Mawat La Babal. Death to Babylon. Destruction to this place. All right, Isaiah 51 verses 14. The captive exile hasteneth that he may be loosed. So that's why we push this truth. Hastening is to push. We pushing this truth. We prophesying, bringing all these prophecies, going out there in the highways and hedges and shaking the hand, declaring the fall of this place. All right, and that he should not die in the pit. There's a pit. And as our camp leader as well last night at camp brought out beautifully, the only way to look in a pit, when you're in a pit, all right, a place designed to keep you under, all right, is up. That's the only way to look in a pit, up. And that's where you have to look. You have to look up. Look for your Savior. And the scripture say, when you see these things come to pass, then look up. That's why brothers always viewing chariots. Brothers always recording chariots because their eyes in the skies. All right, the scripture says the way of life to the wise is above, to depart from hell beneath. Roughly paraphrasing. All right, because this is hell here. We desire a better country. All right, a new heaven and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. That isn't going to have any plagues that's going to come upon us. In the kingdom to come is going to be a no plague zone for the Israelites. All right, we ain't going to be plagued no more. Now we've been plagued because of our sins. We're under the curses. All right, but soon we're going to be delivered, as the scripture says, say to her that her warfare is accomplished, her iniquity is pardoned. Right now we're in grace, getting ready to enter into that new covenant, all right, where we're going to have those incorruptible bodies. We ain't going to be able to get no monkeypox. We ain't going to be able to put smallpox in our blankets and it affects us. All right? We ain't going to be able to cause any harm to us. And Scripture says, nothing shall by any means harm you. All right? As you see, we want to be at. And it begins with this journey. It begins with the tribulation. And the Scripture says, making the captain of their salvation perfect through suffering. We had to go through the sufferings. All right? We had to go through these trying times. So let's be strong. The Scripture says, it's for a moment. It is for a moment. It's not forever. All right? So continuing, it says, nor that his bread should fail. That's why we give diligence, because we don't want when the famine comes that the Lord neglects us, that he numbers us with these 2/3 that he said he would not feed. In Zechariah 11:9, he said he would not feed you. The people, as pertaining to Lamentation chapter 4, he said you're going to pine away. You're going to become sticks. All right, you're going to engage yourselves in cannibalism. We don't want to be of that number. We don't want to be partakers of that great shame to come. All right, we want to be those, as the scripture says in Isaiah 33. See if I can get that. Isaiah 33 and verses 16. It says, he shall dwell on high. Psalm 91, I will set him on high because they have known my name. They have to know the name of the Lord. And how shall they call on him in whom they have not heard? All right, and how shall they hear without a preacher? All right, so guess what? It's important for the elect to teach that name. All right, so this is what we do. All right, as the scripture says, what? Each one teach one. The things that thou hast heard among me, amongst many witnesses, the same commit unto faithful men who would teach others also. So the name of the Lord is important to be taught. All right, it's of necessity in these times. That's how we're going to get delivered. And guess what? We do have the name. We do have it. Some groups teaching that we're going to get the name when YAHAWASHI comes. That's not true. After I read this precept, I'm going to bring a precept concerning that. Isaiah 33 verse 16. He shall dwell on high. His place of defense shall be the munition of rocks. Bread shall be given him. His waters shall be sure. As he said in Isaiah 65, my servants shall eat. There's a promise sustenance. There's a promise about caring for the Lord's elect. The ones that make this spiritual investment, that make this sacrifice, that give diligence, right, that use abstinence from the things of this world, from corruption and the pollution, as the scripture says in James 1, pure religion and undefiled is to keep yourself what? Unspotted. All right, so you speak out against their abominations. All right, you don't indulge yourselves in their folly. All right, as the scripture says, have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness. Despite the flesh wants to draw you to that lifestyle, as Apostle Paul says, you keep under your body. Which you go into it means to be black and blue. All right, because this flesh loves sin. I scripture quoted in Romans 8, the sinful flesh. Apostle Paul also mentioned that these are vile bodies. You know, so it's a constant war, and you have to fight. Don't give in. All right, the kingdom to come, the chariot ride is not for losers. The scripture said they overcame. You have to overcome. Lay aside every weight and every sin that doeth so easily what? Beset us. All right, at some point you have to conquer that sin. You must conquer the sin. You have to say, he that hath suffered in the flesh had what? Cease from sin. Offend less. So to the precept here, Baruch chapter 3, concerning the name and where we're going to receive it. Baruch chapter 3 and verses 7. And for this cause thou hast put thy fear in our hearts. And it's all about the fear. That's something that we touched on last night at camp as well. The fear of the Lord. As Job 28:28 says, that is wisdom. Alright, the fear of the Lord. Okay? As 2 Corinthians 7 says, perfecting holiness in the fear of the Lord. If you don't fear the Lord, you ain't step into righteousness as yet. You ain't step into holiness as yet. It begins with the fear of the Lord. You have to fear him. You keep all the traditions. You can do everything as a practical means or by the works of the law, but if you don't have that fear as well as that faith, you ain't doing shit. All right? Eventually, your belief is going to run out if you don't have the fear. All right? And if you don't have the faith, it works hand in hand. Baruch 3 and verse 7 continuing. And for this cause thou hast put thy fear in our hearts, to the intent that we should call upon thy name and praise thee where? In our captivity. Right now. This is the place to call on his name. And to call on him, we must know his name. We must know the name to call upon it. Alright? It isn't talking about the law. The name there is not the law. The name there is YAHAWAH. As Proverbs 34 says, what is his name? His name is YAHAWAH. And what is his son's name? YAHAWASHI. So we say YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. Bahasham is in the name. Alright? Learn it. It's your language. Isaiah 52 and verses 6 says, therefore my people shall know my name. Therefore they shall know in that day that I am he that doeth speak. Behold, it is I. How are they going to know his name? Zephaniah chapter 3 and verses 9. For then will I turn to the people a pure language. And this is what the Lord has done. I put in Harakadash, the Holy Spirit, all right, upon High Priest Area, all right, taught us the Hebrew tongue, all right, the pure language, the Lashawan Taha, as we normally call it, the Lashawan Kwadash, which is tongue holy or holy tongue, all right, or Lashawan Taha is tongue pure or pure tongue, the pure language, all right, is the Hebrew tongue, Ibariyat, all right, the language that Adam spoke, the language that was preserved through Eber, all right. Continuing, it says that they, the Israelites, his elect, the saints, may all call upon the name of the Lord, not names, the name. The Heavenly Father has one name, his Son has one name. Uno nombre. All right? It says to serve him with one consent. Agreement is a scripture that talks about in Ephesians 4. One faith, one baptism. All right? There's many names, and we know his name is not Jesus Christ, but we teach people that that's madness. All right, you baptize them, as the scripture says, baptizing them in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. So YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI BAHASHAM RAKA Kodash. All right, that's why we say it. It's scripture. All right, and once it's scripture, Greatmillstone teaches it. All right, it's Aksaneta. Inside joke. So back to these plagues. These plagues are happening. All right, it was prophesied to take place. And then go back to Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, and starting at verses 59. It says, then the Lord, YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed, even great plagues, great plagues, like a great plague we could recall to mind going back into, I believe it's called the Black Death. All right, the Black Death or the Black Plague. All right, or the bubonic plague in 1347 that lasted for 5 years. All right, so from 1347 to around 1352. You understand that Slade had killed. All right, all some ratios give you 25 million to 50 million people. All right, and this was also the result of the so-called white race coming back up into rulership because they were cave dwellers. They were the basis of men. So for the Lord to set up the basis of men, he had to help them. All right, he had to do something. All right, he had to put things in place. So he sent a plague, which gave them that passageway of ascension into power. All right, continuing, it says even great plagues and of long continuance, the bubonic plague, and saw sicknesses and of long continuance. All right, so the Lord is able, hey, this could be the start, that monkeypox plague that has begun with 80 cases thus far. That could continue. The Lord could allow that to continue for 10 years down the line and spread to the four corners of the earth. You understand? So as the scripture says in Hebrews 10, it's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. All right? And now not all plagues are deadly, all right, but guess what? They cause great distress and discomfort. You know, and that is the worst, because sometimes that is an easy way out. All right, but you see, to live in a bad condition, that's worse than death. All right, it's worse than death. A scripture talks about living with the black woman. I find more bitter than death. The woman, precisely that was talking about the nigger bitch woman, that woman with the nigger bitch attitude, which today is the black woman for you. All right, that always in your head. You know, she has no discipline with her mouth, with her behavior. You know, she always in your business. She always has a problem. You know, she always trying to play investigator. You know, who's like, your phone ring, she look at you funny. You know, you have passwords on your phone because of this bitch. She do something. She use a computer device or another device to spy what's on your phone through that and causing is a whole hell you gotta go through living with these types of women. As scripture say, where you rather dwell with a dragon than to keep house with that kind of woman. You know, and it says what I find more bitter than death. You understand? So more bitter than death is a life of trouble, a life of dis-ease and discomfort, a life being plagued. All right? And scripture say, well, don't fear him that can kill the body, but fear him that can kill both body and soul. That would soul there go back to psyche, your mind, destroy your mind. And as the scripture say, among these nations we will find no ease. And he's also saying here what? He's going to make the plagues wonderful. The plagues is a part of it. All right? Continuing, moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt. All the diseases of Egypt. And going back to the diseases and plagues of Egypt, you know what was one of them? Boils. And if you look right carefully, we got some images here. If you look right carefully at the monkeypox, all right, they actually look like boils. All right, boils was one of the plagues. 10 plagues in Egypt. And the scripture that said what? Moreover, you will bring upon thee all the disease of Egypt which thou was afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. And it's called what today the monkey pox. Now they say that it started off with a monkey, an animal. First, the first confirmed case of it was with an animal, and then it spread on to man and whatnot. All right, but just I believe, just like the monkey wrench, they named the monkey wrench, that wrench, the monkey wrench, because it's invented by a black man, a so-called black man. So I believe they call it this the monkeypox because it's predominantly the dark races. I get it. It's spread in Africa, African countries. Understand? It's more of, I believe it's more of an insult. All right, to our people of our skin complexion. It says, continuing, and they shall cleave unto thee also every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book. So there are even plagues that are going to come that are not written, like the bird flu. You understand? Or even this C-19 that just went, or that is still around, but you know that it has been the information about it, the narrative about it has been suppressed. You know, because they have already fulfilled what they wanted to do, what they were looking for. All right. Continuing, it says, then will the Lord bring upon thee, the Lord bring it, not Satan, the Lord. All right. Even if it's Esau, he used to create it, it's the Lord, until thou be destroyed. All right. That destroying. That's what happens when you disobey YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. That's what happens when you're unrighteous. Lord is teaching. This is what happens. Plagues come upon you. Going back to the second Ezra 16, right? Second Ezra chapter 16 and verses 37 again, it says, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth a son, with 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb. The pain turns up. And that's what the Lord about to do. That's what the Lord is doing in you. He's turning up the pain. It is time to be delivered. We hope, hey, this year could be the year of deliverance, all right, or next year, but we hope it's soon. I just gonna say, pray for a few days unto you. It says, great pains compass her womb, which pains when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. And so you see, we moving on so quickly. We move on from the so-called pandemic, the C-19, to the bird flu, to the this now here monkeypox. All right, let us read a little article concerning the bird flu. All right, the bird flu. It says here in king5.com, Washington State asks live poultry sales to end because of bird flu. The confirmed cases of highly pathogenic avian influenza H5N1 have shown up in 9 small backyard flocks in 7 counties. With bird flu hitting 9 flocks scattered across 7 counties, the Washington State's Department of Agriculture on Thursday requested that live market poultry sales cease for the next 30 days. The closure is not mandatory. They're asking, they request. You understand? But what if they do make it mandatory? You know what's that? That's no poultry, that's no meat for you. For a little while, the accessibility of meat or poultry is going to be a little hard. Chicken products. Alright? So it could also cause a little famine, a little starvation as well for those that live off a chicken. You know? It says confirmed cases of highly pathogenic avian influenza H5N1 have shown up in 9 small backyard flocks in Thurston Pierce, Pacific, Clallam, Spokane, Whatcom, and Okanogan counties since May 5th, the agency said. Dr. Amber Ethel, the Washington State veterinarian, said bird flu has been reported in 35 states this year. We are one of the last states to get hit, she said during a news conference. Alright, so the plagues are here. Alright, they are here. And it's because the end is here. As the scripture says in Ezekiel chapter 7, we read that. Ezekiel 7 and verses 2, it says, also thou son of man, thus saith the Lord YAHAWAH power unto the land of Israel, and the end is come upon the 4 corners of the land. Now is the end come upon thee, and I will send mine anger upon thee in the form of plagues, different disasters. Ultimately, he's going to send it in the form of nukes, and his son, his right hand shall not spare sinners. It says, and will judge thee according to thy ways, and will recompense upon thee all thine abominations. For all the abominations, these plagues have been sent, this discomfort is sent. So you people feel discomforted. You need to feel discomforted. This place needs to feel discomforted because there's too much folly going on. Too much folly. And I have an article here as well. Let me share it. Just give me a second. Right. You just share this right here. 1 second. Okay. Right. So let's read this here. I just go to the heading, select. The heading states monkeypox is spreading around the world. What is the disease and how dangerous is it? I just read a little bit here. Health authorities in Europe, the US, and Australia are investigating a recent outbreak of monkeypox cases, a rare viral disease typically found in Africa. I mentioned that's why I believe they call it the monkeypox. Make it insulting our complexion, because Africans are, or the people that dwell in that continent, they are mainly dark skinned. All right. Germany, they think of us as dark-skinned people to be monkeys, when they are in fact the true monkeys. That's why they're all hairy and stuff. Let's look up the wild man of our medieval times. You see him, that ape, that baboon, so-called white race. Germany on Friday reported its first case of the virus, becoming the latest European country to identify an outbreak alongside the UK, Spain, Portugal, France, Italy, and Sweden. In the UK alone, cases have doubled since the first was identified on May the 7th. The country now has 20 confirmed cases, though concerns are building that more may be going undetected. That's how it looks. Nasty, isn't it? All right. As I had to keep prayed up that the Lord, protects us from these different plagues and diseases. But you will. All right. You will do it. All right. Health authorities in Europe, the US, and Australia are investigating a recent outbreak of monkeypox cases, a rare viral disease typically confined to Africa. Germany on Friday reported its first case. I just read that today. Bringing it back here. Let's jump down a bit to this year. This is why this place is in need of plagues. Alright, the ultimate plague, as I mentioned, Zechariah 40:12, is on its way as well. The third war coming quickly. Nuclear war. Isaiah 9 and 5, sorry. There shall be with burning and fuel of fire, and burning actually cleanses. Alright, fire, it cleanses. Main purifying agent, fire. The US Centers for Disease Control and Infection, the CDC, and the UK's Health Security Agency said they are investigating a range of cases, including those among individuals who self-identify, listen up, as men who have sex with men. Abomination. Alright? They ain't supposed to be running an investigation for them. What they're supposed to be doing is gathering these men to slay them, push them out. They are a plague in itself. They are a virus on the earth that needs to be destroyed. And urge GAY and bisexual men in particular to be aware of any unusual rashes or lesions, right? In the UK alone, cases have doubled since the first was identified on May 7. The country has now confirmed 20 cases of monkeypox, though there are concerns there may be many more undetected. Alright, but it's here. I can see it. I wonder if there's a little article, a little news clip here. To play a bit about that. Bit of it.
We're not a political show. We're a newscast. We have resources all over the world. Heightened alert for American troops. This is a place for the news.
The facts, the truth, the news with Shepard Smith. Weeknights, 7 and midnight Eastern, CNBC.
What the heck is monkeypox, and do we actually need to worry about this?
Well, look, I think now that there's been community spread, it may be hard to fully snuff this out. I don't think it's going to become a major epidemic because this is a virus that's difficult to spread. You need to stay in close contact or contact with the open sores. But there's so many cases now that are disconnected. This is spreading in the community, and there may be a lot more infection in what we're picking up. It has a long incubation period, upwards of 21 days. So there may be a lot of people currently incubating the virus. There's probably a lot of people who went undiagnosed or misdiagnosed because doctors aren't looking for it. And given the fact that we've found so many disconnected cases, it does suggest that the spread right now is pretty wide.
That concerns me. I mean, what is this thing? What happens if you get it?
Well, look, it could be dangerous. The case fatality rate for the particular strain that seems to be spreading is anywhere from 1% to 4%. It's particularly dangerous in immune-compromised individuals, people who are vulnerable. It's also, sort of a disabling virus. It can last 2 to 4 months. You get fever, lymphadenopathy in the sort of prodrome phase, the lead-up phase. Then you develop these vesicles that can last anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks. So it's a significant virus. I don't think it's going to be widespread in terms of an epidemic that we've seen, in the order of COVID for sure. but we could get low-level spread that just becomes hard to snuff out. There are anywhere from 5 to 10,000 cases a year in the DRC. So there are countries where this is endemic, and it's not infrequent. And now that it's spreading in the community here in Western Europe and parts of the United States, it appears to be, have gotten into this country. Again, it could be hard to fully snuff out. We're not going to mass vaccinate for it. They're going to try to ring vaccinate using the vaccinia virus vaccine. That's not a vaccine a lot of people are going to want to take. So it could be hard to deploy public health measures to try to get a handle on this. That's the concern, not a widespread epidemic here at this point, but this just low-level persistent spread, cases popping up here and there, outbreaks that could be, a risk to individuals and certainly a headline risk.
Hey, Scott, I just wanted to go back to the issue of COVID peaking, at least in the Northeast right now. A number of big corporations in New York City planning or were planning to bring people back full-time, oftentimes 5 days a week in the office. Some of them scaling that back, some not. Apple on the other coast, of course, reversing its plan a little bit. What are you advising CEOs in this moment over the next 2 or 3 weeks about how they should be approaching this for those, dare I say, white-collar workers who are in the office either with a mask on or not with a mask on, and also sort of how you see testing in this environment working or not working?
Yeah, look, I would say, watch the numbers. I mean, if the proposition that this is going to be this isn't going to be a big wave of infection this summer is right, and we're going to see declines as we get into the warmer months, you should see week-over-week declines right now in New York. You're seeing that in Connecticut, New Jersey, so you're seeing it in the tri-state region. You want to see continued declines. I think if we're 2 weeks from now and we've seen sustained declines in infections, that means the risk really has subsided, and I think people can go ahead with those kinds of plans. But I would watch the data unfold. That's really going to be the key here. If you continue to see rises in cases in the tri-state region, or it doesn't level off and you see pickup of infection elsewhere in the country, I think that second possibility that there is going to be a wave of infection this summer starts to become more realistic. Again, I don't see that unfolding. I think a lot of people are skeptical of that model when I talk to folks in and around CDC, but it is a model out there. We need to take it seriously.
Right, so you heard it out of the horse's mouth. Plague is here. All right, the plagues are here. All right, and we hope for the ultimate plague to come to destroy this wicked world, this polluted world, and by this world of abomination that is reigned and ruled by Esau, because the end of his world represents the beginning of all. All right, don't be saddened, don't be fearful. All right, the scripture say what? At famine and destruction thou shalt laugh. It's supposed to be in a joyful spirit. When you see these things begin to come to pass, then look up. All right, keep your eyes in the skies, or keep your eyes on the prize. That is where the prize is coming from. All right, as the scripture says, Apostle Paul mentioned it, count all things but loss that he may win YAHAWAH BAHASHAM. Once that when YAHAWAH returns to be found of him in peace, he says, come up hither. All right, and YAHAWAH, guess what? He hates this place. That's why he's going directly at Edom, at Babylon, Bozrah. That land that has been spreading that fornication, that all that pollution in the earth. There's the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verses 5. I'll start there. It says, behold, said the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth. Wickedness is a pollution. Apart from noise pollution and the little garbage here and there on the street sides, wickedness, that's the true pollution. The Lord hates that, and the Lord is about to do a great cleansing. That's why the scripture says in Isaiah 24, the earth is clean dissolved via the nukes. Them WMDs, weapons of mass destruction, that when they hit, they're going to reel the earth to and fro like a drunkard. They're going to turn this lands, all these lands destined to be hit into what? Ovens. All right, a great heat. As they say, what the element shall melt with fervent heat. Continuing, it says, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. So the Lord, only He who don't let it, will let until it be taken out of the way. So you have a certain quota of wickedness to fulfill before He brings the destruction. So that when the destruction He brings comes, it's going to be just. All right, for what they have did, it's going to be rightly fitted. There's need, all right, for all these different abominations here on the earth. All right, so when the Lord brings his judgment, it's going to be just. It's going to be commended. As the scripture says, let me read this here in the book of Romans chapter 3 and verses 5. It says, but if our unrighteousness commend the righteousness of power, what shall we say? Is power unrighteous? Who taketh vengeance? Because some people are, if the Most High is allowing these sins and the evils to come, or the evils that are here to happen on the earth, all right, then is the Most High evil? Is the Most High wicked? Is the Most High sinful? No. As he's going to say here, God forbid. For then, how shall power judge the world? So, what the Lord is doing, the Lord is teaching judgment. And for him to be a judge over the bad, over evil, or for him to teach how to judge evil, there must be evil. Alright, so the Lord works on both sides to bring that balanced judgment. To give judgment for evil, to give judgment for good. And the ultimate plan the Lord has for this earth is for it to be reigned and ruled in righteousness, which proves that he is righteous. That's what the Lord is. The Lord is righteous. In the book of Zephaniah chapter 3 and verses 5, it says what? The just Lord is in the midst thereof. He will not do iniquity. Every morning doeth he bring his judgment to light. He faileth not, but the unjust, knoweth no shame. They don't know no shame, but they ain't learning. Alright, the ones learning today, alright, the ones seeing the shame is the elect. Alright, this is who the Lord is teaching in these times. It even says in just Lord, right? It says the just Lord will not do iniquity. Psalm chapter 5 and verses 4. It says, for thou art not a power or a God that had pleasure in wickedness. That's why the scripture say what he endured. When you read in verses Romans chapter 9, look at the exact verse. Romans chapter 9 and verses Romans 9 and verses 22. It says, what if power willing to show his wrath? He wants to show his wrath. He wants to show judgment. He wants to show that, guess what? I am not that gentle, Jesus, meek and mild that these churches present. It says, if power willing to show his wrath and to make his power known. That's what he's doing. He's making his power known. It says, endured with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction. He endured that. He endured. The Lord is enduring, seeing this world being run by the wicked. This is not his ultimate plan. He has this going on for a particular purpose that he could bring his wrath. So he orchestrated to be done that which he dislikes, just to show his wrath, just to show that he doesn't like it. How would you know? The Most High doesn't like homosexuality. Alright, he hates it with a passion if he didn't destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, or if he doesn't destroy Babylon the Great in these times and leaves it for a memorial. How would you know? So he's teaching. Alright, and thank YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI that guess what? We are the ones fitted and able to be taught. But not everyone's gonna get it. The scripture says no. In fact, they ain't gonna get it no. Not everyone's gonna get it no. But thank be to the Lord that we get it no. The scripture says in Romans 11, jump across it, I'll read quick as I know Romans already. Romans 11 and verse 7. What then? Israel had not obtained that which he seeketh for. They is seeking. So they seek and you go find. But them and find it. Why? It says, but the election have obtained it, because it was to them. As Yahawashi told the disciples, unto you it is given. But the election had obtained it, and the rest were blinded. And how long will they be blinded for? That question was asked in Isaiah. Let's read the answer to it. Isaiah chapter 6 and verses 11. It says, then said I, Lord, how long? And he answered, until the cities be wasted, until the destruction, until be wasted to destroyed, as he nukes. Without inhabitants, America is going to be without inhabitants, a desert land. And the houses without man, and the land be utterly desolate. Alright, the land is going to be utterly desolate, empty. Alright, and that's going to also happen to our homeland as a form of purifying, a means of purifying it so that it can be built again upon its own heat by the nation of Israel through our slaves. Because we want to lay the good bricks on the buildings and stuff and pay the streets ourselves. We're going to have slaves to do so. As he promised. That's what we await. So here's a little turbulence experiencing right now before the joyride. You know, all the different plays coming into the end of the devil's world. The devil's world must end rough. Yeah, the devil's world kind of nice and smooth. As they say, we shall not go quietly into the night. No, they ain't going quietly. The scripture say what? We're going to pass away with a great noise. Big Bang that you spoke about, that you lied about, that the so-called created everything, that Big Bang is coming. Via nukes. By our Lord's return. It's going to crack them skies. Alright, with the voice of the archangel, with the trump. Alright? It says, and the Lord hath removed men far away, and there be a great forsaking in the midst of the land. Alright? So the Lord is doing his work. The Lord is working. Alright? And guess what? While the Lord is at work, the man of the Lord also at work. So as the Lord works, we magnify his work. We exalt his work. We proclaim his work. You understand? We hope that the Lord keeps his spirit upon us to do so that one day, we could be a part of his work in the sense of being taken up. That's a part of it as well, fulfilling that prophecy of the men or women or children taken up into the chariots, fulfilling that lot. Alright, because that's the best place you'd like to be. You should like to be. Say with that, I give all praises and glory to YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI BAHASHAM RAKHAPADASH. Our city elders and apostles of Greatmillstone, our teachers that rule well. Peace, love, and salutation to the men, the brethren on the four corners of this world that spread this word, this gospel in all sincerity and in truth. A brother Kalab saying to feed in your faith, starve without the death. Stay strong. Shalom.